This isn't just a little bit out of the ordinary. This has never happened to me before on YouTube. So there's this guy called Trevor Malman, who I'm going to guess is going to become famous shortly for all the wrong reasons. Earlier today, I got an email from him telling me that I had to give him $750 because I used a 15-second video clip of one of his videos in one of my videos. Else it was going to get very expensive for me, and the longer I waited, the more expensive it would get, and so forth. I wrote back to him saying that the use was covered under fair use. He then wrote back saying he was passing it on to his lawyers. So I guess I'm getting sued. Now, there's an old saying that every now and again the tree of freedom needs to be watered with the blood of tyrants. Well, this is YouTube, and it's a little more low-key here. It's more, every now and again, the tree of free speech needs to be watered with the failed lawsuits of idiots who don't understand fair use. Sadly, it's got to be done. Otherwise, YouTube as we know it basically ceases to exist. Like when H3H3 had their run-in with Matt Hoss. They made a commentary video laughing at his laughably bad parkour videos. He then filed a Digital Millennium copyright takedown against them, a DMCA takedown. And they countered it, and he then sued them. And a few months later, H3H3 won. Not just the lawsuit, but the precedent that you must consider fair use when filing a DMCA takedown. Else, you can be liable for the damages. Then also recently, there was Akilah Hughes against Sargon of Akkad, which again went to court. He chopped up one of her videos, and she filed a DMCA takedown against it. He counterfiled, she sued. For me, it was an interesting case, in that while she had no real case to take to court, I mean, really, what would the damages be? It was an absolute farce. Her understanding of copyright was even worse. But on the flip side, Sargon hadn't actually done a lot that would count as commentary either. In the end, it came down in Sargon's favour. Boom, he won the case. And because the judges were so nonplussed by the frivolous nature of the case, she got stuck with $40,000 of legal fees as well. Now, I've had numerous run-ins like this as well. I've lost count of the number of DMCA complaints I've had to counterfile again, including a dozen or so against media giants like Viacom and Universal. But I've won them all. So why is all of this so important? Why is it necessary to fight stuff like this? Well, let me show you. This is a typical video that I would make. It's not just a little complicated. These things are monsters. So this is what your typical video looks like on the timeline. So this is going to be 20 odd minutes of video. And there's quite a lot of video segments in here. You know, if you're paying best part of $1,000 for every 15 seconds, it would be absolutely impossible to make videos like this. I'm going to sort of zoom in a bit such that we can actually sort of scroll through this video, and you can tell me who it is you think wants $750 for their clip. Was it this paper here which I used a screenshot from? Was it oh no, it wouldn't be NASA there. Or Futurism, used a clip from them. Or the Elon Musk dedicated fan base, or CNN or ABC, or the Musk talk, or not Wiki. Or was it the people who did the CGI animation for Musk colonizing Mars, or Spitting Image?
I'm a common, or maybe I'm a god, zooming around the planet in my hyperlooping pond.
But Propulsive works.
Right, so anyway, so there's that. What else we got? We got more animations. Oh, we got the old footage of Apollo, the Apollo parachute test. Some other clips, more of Musk. Oh, Futurama. Or was it Jix1? Did they finally get around to filing a copyright notice against me? Or whoever that was, Pando, CNN Money. Or Musk at another conference, more of Musk. Simpsons. Was it The Simpsons? You get the idea that this is... there are a lot of things... Right, what was it? These people who were, recording the rockets landing on barges. And it turns out, no, it wasn't the DCX. It was this clip here, which is... Let's zoom in on that. It's 15 seconds. It's a 15-second clip contrasting the achievements of the Delta Clipper, which is doing okay, with the, how shall we say, meanwhile, some 20 years later in Texas. Yeah, we have the idiots laughing at things going boom boom. So that's the clip that this guy wants $750 for. And this is why it's so important to fight things like this. If just a 15-second clip was forbidden, there would be no more creators like me on YouTube. There would be no more response videos. There would be no news and commentary videos. There would be no movie reviews that included clips of the movie. YouTube would almost instantly become a desert. And this has mostly been reflected in more recent law cases. When the DMCA was first written, it was really quite a draconian tool written mostly by multimedia giants to help them squash little content creators. But as time has evolved and things like YouTube became almost the dominant market for this sort of thing, every lawsuit has softened the DMCA, starting with Lens versus the multimedia giant Universal, which Universal lost. So let's take a look at these emails that I got today. Commercial use, copyright infringement, SpaceX Starship SN9 footage. Would have even known which one it was. Hello, my name is Trevor Malman. I'm a professional photographer, videographer covering rocket launch activities in both Florida and Texas. Unfortunately, I've discovered yours here, which, without permission, uses and infringes my copyright footage of Starship's SN9 test flight in Boca Chica, Texas.
This might sound crazy, but they're
limitations on
copyright.
Is it possible?
Yes.
The video includes links to your Patreon page and ways to support you via PayPal donations, and as such, including my video footage, is publishing it in a wholly commercial manner. Doesn't actually make any difference.
Who are you people? Haven't I seen you in some copyrighted movie?
We resemble but are legally distinct from the lollipop kill. The lollipop.
Turns out you can publish things in an entirely commercial manner. If it's covered by fair use, it's covered by fair use. Doesn't actually make any difference. The kind of use your video exhibits is exactly the use I charge a fee for to be able to use these sorts of compositions, projects, blah, 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 blah.
What the heck is
fair
use?
I'm sorry, you mind running that by me again?
What the heck is fair use?
Doesn't actually make any difference. If it's covered by fair use, none of that matters. I'm dealing with a number of other videos being infringed from rocket launches landing activities like this on a more litigious basis. So this is important, right? He's saying that he's actually going to town with legal actions against people. So if you're getting messages like this from this whatever Trevor guy, let me know, because then we can maybe get together and actually do a more class action type thing. And would really like to avoid going this route as it gets quite expensive for the infringers. Oh, isn't he generous? Doing this so it will be cheaper for the infringers. And you end up, and you will likely end up paying significantly more in damages versus just dealing with me directly, privately, here and now. So he's doing this entirely for my benefit. Yes. I've attached a commercial use video license invoice below. This is the lowest standard rate I charge for a single commercial use of my imagery.
You can
Borrow
a small
Amount
of copyright work to
gonna let you teach that guy a lesson.
Normally, I would take into account your subscriber numbers, video views, other factors pertaining to the use on YouTube, and in this case, it would end up being much more than my standard rate. So he's being super generous here. So this is the guy on YouTube, Trevor Malman, and this is the guy claiming that he's going to offer me something much lower than his standard rates. Yeah, I'm struggling to believe that the man with 6,000 subscribers has standard rates for people on YouTube, especially when this has never happened to me before in 15 years on YouTube. This all to me kind of sounds copyright troll-like. You know, it's going to cost you much more if you don't give me money now. But we'll see. In the spirit of resolving this quickly, easily, and in a cost effectively as possible for you, yes, I'm willing to stick to the minimum rate if we can deal this with upfront and keep it simple. And then he gives me a link to give him $750 via PayPal. Now, it turns out that Trevor Malman, can't be entirely ignorant of copyright or fair use, in that, on his Twitter feed, he's quite happily posting copyrighted material of somebody else's work. Like, does he have the license to use this clip? If someone sent him a bill for $750 for using this clip, how would he respond? Please let me know how you intend to pay for this use in no more than 4 days. Yeah, the price for using the footage will go up if you don't pay me quickly. Again, the hard sell is it smells copyright troll-like, but no. These may include actions against your YouTube channel, potentially resulting in a copyright strike. I would like to avoid this route, as YouTube only allows 3 of these before the channel is removed permanently from YouTube. Better people than you have tried. I will not be taking further action if this matter is resolved by the stated date and time via the means described. Pay me. I look forward to working this out quickly, easily, and as cost effectively for you as possible. It's so nice that he's only got my interests at heart in giving him $750 for 15 seconds of video. And this was my reply. It is against the law to file a DMCA takedown without taking fair use into account. File under penalty of perjury. Merely by doing so, you expose yourself to legal liability, and I give him a link to why you have to take in fair use before you file a DMCA takedown. The second you take it down, you're locked into this, right? I do actually have the right to sue him directly after that. Item in question is covered under fair use. I then give him a link to fair use. This is mostly such that I'm trying to head this off at the pass, right? I don't want to have to deal with any of this crap for 15 bloody seconds of video. So I give him some information on the DMCA, maybe because I don't know if he's aware of it or not. But if he's not aware of it, this gives him a chance to back down. If you file a DMCA takedown, I will pursue legal action against you. Basically because I don't have any other options, because if I don't fight these things, my YouTube channel is gone. Historically, these things don't end up well for people like you, which is entirely true. People who get this litigious over copyright are the most universally hated on YouTube. So I give him a couple of links to the Keeler Hughes one and the Matt Hoss, who, like I was saying, universally hated, and also a few of the previous ones which I fought. And just so you know, for every one of these that I fight publicly, there are probably 10 that I don't. Given the option, I don't do this sort of thing publicly because it is a distraction from actually making real content. Which leads to his last response. Good morning. Have forwarded your response to my intellectual property lawyers. All further communication will be via their firm. Disappointed you chose this path. As noted previously, this will become much more hairy and expensive situation. Best, Trevor Malman. Yeah. So, I mean, this to me smells different. Smells like he actually wants to do this, which means I have to fight it. Now, beyond the obvious that, if this did actually count as copyright infringement and wasn't covered under fair use, then 90% of what's on YouTube could be taken off of it. Let's take a look at how this actually stands under the law. So these are the factors dealing with fair use. Examples of fair use in US copyright law include commentary, search engines, criticism, parody, news reporting, research, and scholarship. Fair use provides for the legal, unlicensed citation or incorporation of copyrighted material in another author's work under a four-factor test. And what are those four factors? You've got the purpose and the character of the use. The first is the purpose and character of the use, including whether it is of commercial nature or is a non-profit educational purposes. Now, little from column A, little from column B. To justify fair use, one must demonstrate how it either advances knowledge or progress of the arts. Well, this is an absolute no-brainer. How it demonstrates the advancing of knowledge. You will recall that the video that we're talking about here was a 20-minute video about the lack of progress of Elon Musk using recyclable rockets, of which this was just an example. So what else we got? The nature of the copyrighted work, which isn't actually terribly relevant, fictional versus non-fictional. They get more protective over fictional works than non-fictional. So that kind of works in our favor here. Amount and substantiality. A third factor in assessing is the amount and substantiality of the copyrighted work that has been used. In general, the less that is used in relation to the whole, the more likely the use will be considered fair. So it's not, none of these things are a sort of binary hard limit cutoff, but the shortest video clip, the shortest clip that I am aware of for which a lawsuit was actually filed was the Lens versus Universal, which was a 30-second clip. And Universal lost that lawsuit. And then, of course, the effect upon the work's value. Fourth factor measures the effect of the alleged infringing use has had on the copyright owner's ability to exploit his original work, to which the answer is 0. The court not only investigates whether the defendant's specific use of the work has significantly harmed the copyright owner's market, but also whether such use in general, if widespread, could potentially harm the market of the original, to which the answer is no, 0. People who are fans of SpaceX do not go to videos like SpaceX Busted to watch a 15-second clip of a rocket blowing up. The burden of proof here rests on the copyright owner, who must demonstrate the impact of the infringement on the commercial use of the work. Now, I just can't tell you how out of the ordinary this is. Guy rolls up saying, I want $750 for 15 seconds of video, or it's going to get really expensive for you. I'm only just charging you $750 as a friend to be nice to you, as long as you do it quickly. This never happens on YouTube. This is the first time in 15 years on this platform that this has ever happened. Legally, I don't think it's got a bat's chance in hell, but that doesn't mean that it can't go to court. So if you do me a favor and send this off to your favorite legal eagles on YouTube, see what they make of it, I would be grateful. And watch for the SpaceX Busted video part 2 going down. That's going to be the first sign that this is kicking off. And at that point, I'll have no choice but to file the counter notice. He'll then have 2 weeks to either sue me or lose his copyright claim. And if he does pursue it, well, I guess it's going to be like the last thing I emailed him. Thank you for confirming that you plan to take action against me. I'll put a video up about it this evening. Video should be live in about 6 hours. I'm almost perfectly on schedule. Every now and again, the YouTube community requires another Kyler Hughes or Matt Hoss. Enjoy your place in history.